Welcome to I'm Still Here, real conversations about living with metastatic breast cancer. I'm your host, Heather Jose. I was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer at the age of 26 and have now been living with metastatic disease for over 25 years. This podcast is a space for honest conversation about what it actually looks like to live with metastatic cancer, the challenges, the realities, and the ways we continue to build meaningful lives alongside this disease. I'm really glad you're here. Welcome back.
We're going. Welcome back.
I wanted to give an update about I just saw my oncologist, and I feel like, it's just good to talk about what that looks like and how it feels every time. How going through the process of like scanning and then going to your appointment is just, it's always something that's top of mind, right?
Stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this time around, there's kind of a couple things going on. We did, my last testing was like in October and November. Mm-hmm. And there was a little something on the scan that, my doctor was like, I don't see anything. I reviewed it all myself. I'm comfortable with saying that it's not progression in any way, but I want to scan again in 6 months, which is different for me in the, for a while now I've been on yearly scans. So I think it's always a challenge to kind of hold that of like, okay, I'm just going to trust and believe that things are okay.
For sure.
And then in scheduling this scan, I actually scheduled the appointment months ago. And then as it came to be, I did my PET scan on a Wednesday night. And then so I had the weekend, and then my appointment's always been on Monday since we started, right? Like we've always had Monday appointments.
I did not know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Monday is always clinic day. But anyway, in the midst of that time, we ended up scheduling Sydney and Adam's wedding shower. So I kind of was in the midst of sort of breaking that rule that I talk about, right? In terms of...
No, not really. Because it's more for you. You don't look at the report, theoretically. So you don't really have the results till it's over. But
right,
I get
but
that
you're in that space of like, what if a little bit more during that specific weekend? So, it's challenging, and it never gets. I mean, it does get easier, but it never goes away, right?
Yeah. Again, I don't have cancer, but if a doctor wanted to run a test on me, I'd be in the same boat.
Yeah.
It's just the fear of the unknown and what that could be. The difference is you've experienced what it can be.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's interesting too, and I was thinking about this the last couple of weeks, is that like, it's like clockwork that my back starts to hurt. Like it doesn't matter. It hurts in a place where I know that there were Mets at least in the area. It doesn't matter. Like, it just kind of does this little naggy, achy, what could that be sort of thing. And it's like, how... And even though you kind of talk yourself down from it, I mean, none of this puts me at a 10 anymore, but it's all just makes you very cognizant of the fact that life could change, right?
Right.
And I haven't had a change in my treatment since 2004. So
it's a long time.
That's a long time. And I've been, I'm so fortunate for that. That doesn't mean we haven't, in the midst of that, we've done other things. We've done 2 biopsies during that time, like bone biopsies. One was a whole resection of the rib that we took out because we just couldn't tell for sure. So with mine, you know, I've had extensive bone mets. So scans tell you some things, they don't tell you everything. And I do a PET scan now every time. But even like today's report, it didn't just say, "Yay, she's great, clear, everything's fine." And I don't know that my scans have ever really
I was going to
said
say,
that.
I don't know.
You know, some of them have. I did look at this one. Some of them have been much more clear. Like, yeah, we don't see anything. You know, and this one doesn't really see anything either. But there's like areas that are sort of, there's some inflammation or something that they have to note. You know, so it just. I think if you have to learn to be okay with like not knowing everything or trusting that what's happening is working, and
Yeah.
you know, yeah. What did you walk away from the appointment with?
Well, I
today?
always walk away feeling good after the appointment. When you get, Dr. Mariver, to some extent, I feel like I watched her be convinced that there's just nothing there, because you had done a blood draw prior to it, but the results weren't in. But while we were in there, the results came in.
Yeah.
And you could tell it just confirmed, like, there was nothing that would have been elevated had there been an uptake. None of those things were present.
Right.
So she was like, yep. And then right after that, she repeated again. There's just no cause for anything. So,
Right.
and she was going to obviously go talk to get more of a conversation with the people who read those, just to go, what do you see? Because I don't see anything. You need to point at this. And obviously she's been doing this her whole life, so has a lot of experience with reading those. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I always come away like, I don't know if it's who or it's just, I like talking to her.
Yeah.
She's just a really impressive, confident person. So that is reassuring. And I know 1,000,000% she has your best interest in mind.
Yeah.
Therefore, she's always going to recommend what's in your best interest. So in this case, she was, and I don't know what I walk away from. I walk away from just going, okay, cool. Yeah.
Well, and some of it too is just figuring out, what the plan is for the next, until we see her again. So that's, always. We also had to have some other but also, like, there just was other things to talk about in terms of, I've been doing a million appointments lately. So she, as my oncologist, is always, up on what is happening with all of those.
She knows it's all tied together.
She does know it's all tied together. And I mean, honestly, I did a sleep study. I think I talked about that a little bit a few weeks ago, and I have to do the titration here soon because they're recommending a CPAP. And this cat. And I don't feel good about having to do the CPAP, but even hers just saying, like, it's just, you're going to feel so much better. Like, so that's helpful.
And it's way more common than people think, the amount of people who do have them.
Well, and I think it's also, like, for me, I think about it as, like, is this one more stigma I can sort of address and break, in terms of, like, I think the stigma is that people that have CPAPs they did something wrong, or they're
old and fat.
And that's, in talking to the people I've talked to, it's all, like, structure of your airway and all of those kind of things, which of course, like, extra weight will add to that. But there's a lot of things that structurally you're just born with, or that's what happens. So right. My dad was a terrible snorer. I'm sure he had, we all know he had sleep apnea. So anyway, I think being able to look at, how are these other appointments that I'm doing right now going to really affect my quality of life is like the bigger question right now.
And how do they tie into each other, or do they tie into each other? Medicine you're getting for one, does it affect the other? And I mean, it's a lot.
It is a lot. And it's interesting. I mean, yeah, it was interesting to me to talk to her a little bit today too, because her husband is a psychiatrist that does amazing things, and he works with the sleep study people a lot. So that was cool too to hear her say, like, this obviously makes a huge impact on how you feel and function and those things. But yeah, there's a lot that goes with all that, and yeah, just managing all of it and trying to do real life. So
yeah, fit all those things in.
Yeah.
So how much did you think about it this weekend? A lot?
Not a lot. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I did peek at my results on Friday, and I knew that they were.
Do what I say, not what I do.
I thought about having you look at them instead, but I didn't think.
So I thought, because you were like earlier in the week, wasn't sure if I was taking the day off or not, and you said, well, you could just look at the results and come if you need to or not. I'm like,
well, that says everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can't do that. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm taking the day off. I'm not looking at those and then not reacting or reacting.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, and
I don't know what I'm reading.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, this is what that told me again, and I know this already, is that it sounds worse than it is 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So
I hope the day never comes, but if you do have, true inflammation and a true, progression, I think that one will be quite obvious.
Yeah, I think so too.
I hope it never comes, and it hasn't in 28 years. So I think it'll be,
It has in 28 years, but it hasn't in a long time.
No, it hasn't.
So
not really.
Well, we have switched medicines.
Yeah, but minor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also coming off of that too, that's one thing that I was thinking about at LBCC or LBBC, the Living Beyond Breast Cancer conference that I was at. People always ask about like, what line of treatment are you on? And I don't think that even me saying that is even true, because you wouldn't start the line of treatment the way that they get started. Like, it would be a totally different thing now. For, I would start on a line that wasn't chemotherapy as somebody who is diagnosed stage 4. So I just thought that was interesting. But hopefully in the next few weeks, I will have some more answers, because this week is like sleep study titration, which I'm sure will be really fun. And then next week I meet with the new cardiologist to be able to talk about the beta blocker and whether or not there's a better fit for me. And again, both of those, well, that conversation came out of talking to the sleep doctor, which I appreciate that they're considering all of those things. Awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely the team mode, or the communication mode at minimum, between, all the people that you have to deal with when you have metastatic cancer. It's a necessity, and it makes your life just so much better. And by the way, none of these people are on a team of yours, but there are charts, and they truly, are going to look at those.
Yeah.
And communicate.
Yeah, and I like that they aren't just looking at something just from their lens, but are looking at it from all the different lenses, or a whole person approach, right?
Yeah.
So that makes a huge difference to all of us.
Yep.
But so we'll see. We're kind of like immediate answers coming, which hopefully will address some quality of life things, and I'll start feeling a little better. And then later answers later, maybe some more scans down the road. And so we're only going to go another 6 months this time, which is okay with me. She did suggest an MRI, which I haven't done in years and years. So I hate them, But it's fine. I can handle them with some good drugs. So, I already saw an order come through, and it talks about Xanax or Valium or something. So, like, I'm not. That's fine with me. Knock me out, please.
I don't ever. By the way, I never open my eyes. Never. Not.
I actually have them. A lot of times, I'll have them put a washcloth right over my eyes or something.
Oh,
so
smart.
So that
I've never asked for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I gotta believe if I opened my eyes and it was right there, that might freak me out.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's talk about something fun.
Okay.
How do you feel about the wedding?
It should be fun. Yeah. I'm very glad they're getting married. Yes, that's good.
Are you worried about the amount of work, or what are you...
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. It'll be fun.
Yeah. I mean, so the shower this weekend, other than the fact that Michigan weather is Michigan weather, and it wasn't exactly nice out, and we were outside for most of it. I thought it was, it's always nice to see her group of friends and see people show up for her and for us as a family.
Yep.
And so that kind of makes me feel like, oh, this is going to be a really fun event.
Oh, for sure will be.
You know.
And I like how it's the weekend, not just an afternoon or an evening.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. It'll be good. Most importantly, I'm very happy that those two found each other and they're getting married. I couldn't feel luckier having him as a son-in-law. So
yeah, I think there's just such a good fit for each other. Mm-hmm. And that's been really nice to see.
Yeah. Of all of the things you hope for, obviously health number one, but number two, your people finding their people.
Yeah.
And truly being happy. People are going to think we're cat people.
I know. We're not cat people.
Golly. Those of you watching.
There's
cats everywhere.
Well, you can probably hear the purring, honestly.
I think we're cat people.
This is what...
We're dog people.
We are dog people who have 2 cats who are going to live forever just like the dogs live forever. And this is our life. So, what do you do about that? Let's talk about things that what do you think makes appointments go well or better when you're talking to an oncologist or your oncologist?
Well, all I know is your oncologist.
Okay.
You know, that's my only experience with that. So I don't know what other people... and I also think it's a little different with you being so far out in this and being somewhat of an enigma to them.
Yeah.
They just don't have data on you.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else, I know, that 5-year mark and this and that, and with your DNA being this, and they kind of have a map with different roads they can go down. With you, there are, I feel like in the last 10 years, it's been 50% of, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
They've been asking you.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I just want you to make a decision personally.
You want them to make a decision, not me.
But I also think that's part of, having the oncologist that you have is she truly teaches. She truly takes care of the whole person, not just the patient.
Yeah.
And that's really important to her. And we've never been in there where she hasn't recommended an exercise specifically to you or a food that you should be getting a little more of it. Nothing to do with medicine, but everything to do with medicine.
Yeah.
So, what was the question?
Yeah, what do you recommend, like, going into an oncology appointment? But I think what you're saying also is that a relationship with your oncologist is really important, right?
Huge.
And I will say, I also got a voicemail that morning saying, hey, Dr. Moriver wants some labs, but everything's okay. Your scan looks fine, but she wants some labs. It wasn't, it was definitely her knowing what I would be worried about or whatever, to say, preface it this way, and just also, would you go to lab first? Because I don't always get labs drawn now even. So her knowing that is really helpful. But being able to kind of come with some questions or what you want to know, and then, for me...
And I think that might be hard for a lot of people with an oncologist that's not a people person.
I agree.
That's really good at killing cancer, but they're just not social people. That would be really hard for me. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think, I look at, like, our conversations take a different... I mean, you're right. They're always talking about quality of life, but they look different every time, I feel like, in terms of mental health. I was talking a little bit about a therapist this time and looking into that. Like, last time we were talking more about weight and different things like that. So it just depends on really what's top of mind for me. Mm-hmm. But being able... I think it's important that oncologists realize that you are a whole person, that your life isn't just about... the cancer not being there, which is obviously the top thing, the most important thing.
No.
But that there's so much more to, really being able to live and live well with cancer. And it's like, how do you address all of those things? And
it's similar, like we listened to a podcast today, and it was about pain.
Yeah.
And pain is not just about the body, the physical pain. Pain is only registered in the brain. And so it's how the brain anticipates and the brain takes it. And I think it's similar to, it's a whole bunch of things that go into healing somebody with cancer. It's not just the medicine, and that's what gets all the PR, but that's such a small portion.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it takes the right person to direct that.
Right. Well, and it takes, again, the right person to be able to, like, walk with me at 28 years to go, I'm still going to recommend this. Are you comfortable with this in terms of my medicine, and even some of that is quality of life issues in terms of the Faslodex causing, like, the scar tissue on, my back, my lower back or whatever. The surgery was well worth it to have that removed, whatever. But now being able to do one shot instead of two, again, just makes it so much easier to walk in there. And the difference between 4 weeks and 6 weeks, like, these are huge things to my quality of life. And it feels like a really good compromise between, like, do we just get rid of the medicine, which that's been...
They're debating right now.
That's been
They
on
don't
the table.
know the right thing.
Right.
Because there's no data.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. Is I think it just really hit me today that they're talking about these things because there's nowhere to look for an example.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, yeah. And so it's really unknown, as with a lot of things in medicine when they first start. But this isn't first start. This is long term now, and the consequences of long term and the side effects of long term and the good part Or has the cancer been gone for 20 years and we're just doing stuff to do it? No one knows the answer to that. And that's the crazy part, is in 2026. We don't have that test.
Yeah.
We don't. There's no test that and even if there was, who's to say that a year later?
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. And just, I don't know, having lived with cancer for that long, it's obviously had impacts on other parts of my health, right?
Yeah.
That definitely make a difference. But I don't know. But all to say, things are good, and we are going to have a wedding here.
And we're not going to do any tests prior to the wedding.
Right. That was one consideration. We have another little hiccup because our insurance company and my healthcare institution are negotiating right now, and we could be out of network by the end of June, which would be
bad.
But, all that to say, like, I'm glad I'm getting all of this other stuff taken care of, but I don't want to push a test early just because of that. So,
yep,
we will figure it out. But it's just, that's what life with cancer is. I think it's just figuring it out along the way.
Yeah.
Whether it's more of a medical thing or if it's more something
Psychological thing or a life thing.
Yeah, exactly. Or a work thing. Or there's so many cancer impacts every aspect of it. So I just feel like it's kind of a revolving what's taking priority, So I'll be happy to have appointments not be taking priority here soon. So, well, I think that's good for today. And let's let these people go and get back to life.
Get back to life.
We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to I'm Still Here. If this episode really resonated with you, one of the best ways you can support the podcast is by sharing it with someone else who you think would benefit from it. If you have questions or a topic you'd like to cover in future episodes, you can reach me through the contact form at www.heatherjose.com. And if you've been living with metastatic breast cancer for 10 years or more, and you would like to share your story, you can apply to be a part of the Sensational Survivors series using the link in the show notes. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next week.